Well, welcome back. Well, Henry Ogunjimi, our correspondent, he joins us now. He's also been following up on activities concerning this kind of matter. The World Trafficking Day this Saturday, but you've done a lot about this lately. And what did you find while you were monitoring this one?
Thank you, Chamberlain. First of all, I must say that it was a meeting with a returnee that inspired the shooting of the documentary, which I just completed. And I realized that it's gone beyond people exploiting people. It's trafficking of humans has now moved from people actually being wanted to be trafficked. My subject in the documentary was trafficked some 9 to 10 years ago. An innocent young girl. But when she got back, she realized there were so many young girls in Nigeria who willingly want to go back, who willingly want to go to Italy, France, Belgium.
That must have surprised you.
Yes.
So before now, it was a case of people being deceived and they take them out.
Before now.
But now people willingly.
Some parents even want their daughters or their sons to go to Europe.
Wow.
That's the case now, and that's a terrible situation we find ourselves in. When Tonia was trafficked.
I'm sorry, most times I think I'll be cutting you. Like you were also in Niger and a couple of other places like this visual showing.
Niger, like you can see the visuals of Niger on the screen.
Are these routes?
Niger is a popular route. There's a town called Agadez in Niger. It's the most popular route for traffickers who take their victims through the desert.
How did they get to Niger from Nigeria?
It's a big question. How safe or how secured are our borders? Our borders, I think, are porous. Because through Sokoto, Kano, you can cross to Niger Republic. And these are desert routes that are not secured. So a lot of people, because most of these girls are trafficked, are minors, they can't go to the embassies, apply for visas to travel to Europe and get it easily. So they go through the desert, they go by road. Sometimes they spend more than they would actually spend if they go via through the visas, through the embassies. But you realize that in Agadez, it has become a lucrative business for the people in Agadez. A lot of young men in Agadez have taken to driving, victims of trafficking across the desert into Libya.
And most of those victims are Nigerians?
Most of them are Nigerians, most of them.
And these drivers get paid for that?
Actually, they get paid a lot. And they make their money. For a driver who buys an Hilux van, he can make the money for that van in just several trips.
Wow.
Imagine that. That's how lucrative the business is.
Oh.
So a lot of young men in Agadez have taken to that business. No schools. You have two major businesses in Agadez. It's either you're trafficking people across the desert to Libya, or you're mining gold in a town called Jado. There's a town in Niger Republic called Jado where gold has been discovered. So it's either you're there mining or you're driving victims of trafficking across the desert.
They must have an agency that is established to see how they can stop this. How are they coping?
For the government of Niger, I spoke to the governor of Agadez, and he told me that the problem cannot be stopped by them alone, because they also have the problem of the porous borders. A lot of people just drive into their country, drive through their country, and because these people come in, like the emir of Agadez said, that the people come in to spend some money, because while you're waiting for your turn to take the ride across the desert, you spend some days in Agadez, and you spend the little you have. You probably rent hotels or rent an accommodation, and some girls even have to wait in Niger in Agadez to do prostitution to raise some more money.
A moment here. If they wait that long, it then means we have a long line of waiting people
Definitely.
To be crossed.
Yes, and that's
to the other side of Europe.
And that also dictates the price of the transportation, the cost of transportation.
How? The longer you wait?
No, because
you have more people.
The more the number of people waiting to be trafficked, waiting to be transported across the desert, the higher the price. So if you cannot pay, you have to probably wait some more weeks, engage in prostitution, raise some money, and pay the price.
Talking about the routes now, I would like to use the word crossover. When they do the crossover, leaving the continent, is there a time they get onto waters?
Yes. Unfortunately, I couldn't secure the permission to film in Libya. But having crossed from Niger to Libya, from Libya to cross the Mediterranean is what we see every day on BBC, CNN, sometimes on the World Today.
Pardon me, Mr. Burton Harry, tell us about this image.
This image you can see on the screen is some pictures we got on the streets of Italy of young Nigerian girls actually engaging in prostitution.
You stayed overnight to
Yes, we actually filmed. We spent some 12 hours, filming this from the top of a building, because our escort here, an Italian social worker, made us to understand that before now, in the 90s, Albanians and girls from Eastern Europe were most sought after in Italy, until Nigerian girls started coming in. And now Nigerian girls are the most sought after, so you have a lot of them on the streets. But at the same time, these girls are desperate to make money. Some of them, I spoke to one of them who told me her family thinks she works in a big company in Italy, because that's what she told them. But she's actually into prostitution.
Perhaps those are the genuine trafficked ones. Markwe has a question for you. Markwe.
Well, I was just wondering, after seeing all of those pictures and from the experience of Tonia, whom you talked about, do you think there's really a way this can be stopped?
Markwe, I think for this to be stopped, everybody has to come on board. Like the UN Secretary General said, that every country has to come on board. You have to play your own part. We have to play our own part as Nigerians. The Nigerian government has to play its own part. The Italian government has to play its own part.
So what part are we playing now?
Particularly in NAPTIP.
Yes. I don't know how much NAPTIP is doing, at the borders. Because trafficking of persons is not just about those who get house helps to Lagos from Calabar. No. A lot of them are taken outside the shores of this country. And a lot of them...
But sorry again, I recall that state governments have actually tried to make sure that they criminalize such acts. Recall that the Akwa Ibom state government, as well as the Cross River state government, specifically the Akwa Ibom state government had put in place a law criminalizing people who come to take their children for such... do people still, move in against all odds and still
I think
traffic children from such parts of the country?
Yes, so like a lot of people have complained about, a lot of people give the excuse of the economic situation of the country. For instance, you as a Nigerian, Chamberlain has a daughter or a son in Europe, you also want your daughter or your son in Europe. So as just to send the kind of car Chamberlain's son or daughter are sent to him. It has become a class thing. People have taken it from being an economic problem to a class thing. Some people just want to have their daughters or their sons in Europe. But the problem I'm talking about now is, let's make this not too lucrative. I spoke to someone a prosecutor in Italy who told me they have a problem. And the problem is, when these girls are arrested, they do not say who their madams are. They do not say who has brought them to Europe.
There's a code of silence there.
Yes, probably because of some traditional...
Quickly before we go, are you doing a follow-up? Because that documentary, the first part is something that really is touchy and informative that could help the country to get into the bottom of this. But are you doing a follow-up?
Definitely. I intend to do a follow-up. Also working with the Italian prosecutor, like I told you. I've given her the results of my findings, and she seems to be very interested. And whenever they have something concrete, we wouldn't mind going back.
Very interesting insights, Henry Ogunjimi, who's following up on this one. So it's something that really needs to be done. Thank you very much indeed, Henry, and all the best that you also keep tabs on that one. Well, there you go. That's the show today. We thank you all for watching. We'll be back. Hopefully, there's going to be a response to what you heard previously. We'll see you then. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
Many thanks. I'm Sulaiman Alede.
Well, guys, I have my blue heart. I will be sending yours as soon as I can. We're joining this campaign. Thank you. I'm Maokwe Ogun.